Hey guys, what's up? It's Hannah and I'm here today to do a short little book haul with you. I could not resist. I know I just got some books from Christmas, but I could not resist. Just wanted to do a book shopping day, so that's what we did, and now here we are. Alright, I'm just going to jump right into it. My first book that I hauled, so this one is actually technically my husband's. He's been wanting this book after I saw it in the library. So technically this one is my husband's book. I recommended this to him, and after he read the synopsis, he wanted it so much, so he finally picked it up this time, and that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. And this book, just frankly from the look of it, is just gorgeous. It's got black dipped pages and it's so phenomenal. My husband's actually in the middle of reading it, so I kind of stole it from him for this book. But if you guys haven't heard about what Six of Crows is about, it is a six-man job of pulling off the ultimate heist. So the synopsis of this sounds really cool. It kind of reminds me of Fast 5, which is my favorite out of the Fast Furious movies, although I haven't seen Fast and Furious 7 because I'm afraid I'm gonna cry. But anyway, back to Six of Crows. This just sounds like a fun, dangerous, exciting heist story, and it's one of those stories that they have to do it before they kill each other. So this seems really entertaining. He is loving it so far, and I can't wait to jump into this. Next on my list that I picked up was The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, and I have heard about this and I thought it was kind of sounded intriguing because it's about sidekicks and I'm all for the secondary characters, but I just didn't, it wasn't that compelling, and then I saw this one and it's autographed and I thought that was really cool and I would love to build that up, and it was only $14.50 for an autographed Patrick Ness book, so I was like, why not? Like, I was already kind of debating it anyways, so I figured I'd give it a shot. There is the signature. Oh, can you even see that? There is the signature right there. Can we just talk about, again, another beautiful book that's just so pretty. Also, I didn't know this until I was listening to someone else's review when they got it, but this actually glows in the dark, the little people down here, which I think is really cool, and you can definitely feel it, like, it's got some texture to it, so I'm excited to see this in the dark and see if it actually glows in the dark. But this book is about a group of normal kids. Instead of the superhero who's got the amazing story or like the chosen one persona, they are just regular kids trying to live their lives, and it sounds like it's a coming of age story where you have to look inside yourself to find the hero and what makes you extraordinary. So I'm excited to dive into this, especially since I'm not really knowing too much about this story. It's kind of vague, so I like those, the blind stories that really take you by surprise because you don't know what to expect. Next, my husband actually picked up Truth Witch by Suzanne Dennard. This book, he has been counting down the days, I think, since at least for 6 months he's been looking forward to this book, and he's been counting down the release date. So we pre-ordered this one and got sent to us as soon as as soon as it released, so he was super excited for this one and he picked it up right away. He's already read this, said it was really good. So this story, if you don't know, is about a truth witch who she can tell when people are lying. And the providence that she lives in, or the town that she lives in, is, I believe, on the less fortunate side. So being able to tell when someone is lying or not is a big deal to them. And there are a bunch of different types of witches in here that they've got special powers, like Blood Witch and Wind Witch, and there's one other one too. And Thread Witch, which just sounds very interesting. Different magical elements to it, and they have to protect their town with a band of unlikely friends in this book to protect it from the Blood Witch. And she is also very covetable because she can tell when people are lying, so they're also having to protect her in the same go. So I am excited to throw this into my reading bucket, and I I think that I'm gonna like it, and so does my husband. My husband thinks that this is gonna be right up my alley, so I'm excited to dive into this one. Next up, we grabbed, because my husband is relentless, and I actually wanted to read this series, but I told him that he would like it too, and it is The Throne of Glass. So I've got the first one back here, but I haven't read it yet. He's just read that one and he loved it. So he's like, I know I'm gonna want to read the rest of the series. So we were already at the bookstore and this happened. So he's gonna power through these. He's got some ones that he picked up also at the bookstore that he's really excited to go through. And I know that his Bands of Mourning is gonna come out soon, I think. It's one of the Brandon Sanderson books. But he's been like looking forward to that one just as much as Truth Witch. So he said after those, he's gonna read all of these. And every time he reads one of my book series first, I get so jealous. And I'm like, now I wanna read it. And then I push everything else aside because I am jealous about our books. So don't be surprised if you see me reading these somewhat soon. Next up, I picked up The Recipe Club. And this book is about two ladies who keep in touch through letters and recipes, and they started this club when they were younger, and they would send each other letters, and it would have recipes in there like lovelorn lasagna and forgiveness tapenada, and that's how they keep in touch, is by sending these letters and these recipes back and forth. And so this book is made up of letters to each other, so I think it's going to read almost like a diary, which I think is going to be fun, and it also has the recipes actually inside here. So I love when they combine things like that. I got this one used, and that drives me nuts when people bookmark the pages. Ooh, such a pet peeve. And what's funny is I actually used to do that when I was younger, but I've like stopped that because of how terrible it looks afterwards. But anyway, this is just like a fun cooking book that I always have to. These are the books that I always crave that I never have, so I'm stocking up, so when I do crave a good cooking book, I have one to pick up. Next up, I picked up The Night Garden by Lisa Van Allen. This book is about a woman who is a caretaker for this maze that is a local legend in their town. Local legend says that if you go through the maze, it will give you answers to your most desired questions, yet it has never helped the caretaker, which just sounds like it's gypped to me if you're the one taking care of it, and it's like, what? That's like me with my cats. If I don't feed them and then they don't want to cuddle with me later, I'm like, I'm the one who gives you life. Like, I'm the one who keeps you alive. Be nice to me. Anyway, this book is about a girl who after takes care of this maze her entire life and almost hides herself in it, she questions whether or not the maze that she is taking care of is a safe haven like she thought, or if it's more like a prison, because she's finally decided to try to open herself up to this guy Sam, who has come back into town, and madness ensues, I'm guessing. Next, I picked up The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black, and I was so excited when I saw this. So outside of my library there is a used bookstore, and they sell things dirt cheap, like, because it's things that are like overflowed from the library, so most of the time they're used books, but this looked brand spanking new, and I was actually really debating on buying this full price at my bookstore, but I just kept putting it off, and so I was thrilled when I saw this at the bookstore because I bought this for $4, guys. $4, how great is that? So if you don't know, The Darkest Part of the Forest is about a boy who is horned, and he is in this glass coffin, and in this fairy world they have people come from all over different towns to come look at the boy in the coffin, and which is very morbid if you think about it, but they don't, like, the visitors don't see the danger that the locals do. So the two little local kids, Hazel and Ben, tell themselves stories about the boy in the glass coffin, and they pretend like they are going to be knights protecting him once he comes alive, and he is going to be a new type of ruler that sounds a little seedy, but they want this to come true. And as they grow up, they kind of lose faith in the stories because they know that they just made it up. And then it happens. So Hazel ends up having to be a knight to protect this horned boy who has come alive out of the glass coffin, and she doesn't know who to trust anymore, and everything goes crazy. I'm excited to pick this one up and see that the world just sounds very interesting to me, and I want to see what happens with this. So I'm excited that I got this book. And last but not least, me and my husband just celebrated 5 years from our dating, and so my present was the hardcovers of Harry Potter, because I have never owned the hardcovers of Harry Potter. I originally read them all on ebook, and let me tell you, it's something totally different reading them versus the hardcover. And I didn't want the new versions of the covers because I know that they just came out with it. I wanted the original version in the hardcover, and so we've been on the lookout for these, and I am absolutely in love with them. Makes going back reading through it so much better. So this is what my present was. We got the train case, which is so cool, and it just is like a really cool storage way to have them. And they've got these really, like, thankfully nifty little strings on the bottom of them. Otherwise, this thing is heavy, like 7 books. Well, actually 6 in here because we're reading Goblet of Fire right now. And this is what it looks like inside. Ooh, man, this is heavy. But it's just got all of the original books in it, and it came with like little Harry Potter stickers that you can decorate inside of the trunk or outside of the trunk with, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. And it is cardboard, but it's actually, I was expecting it to be really crappy cardboard, but it's like cardstock, like it's like decently well made, which I was surprised. But it's got all the actual books, and I just love it. I'm so happy. I've been literally wanting that for probably a year and a half since I saw that they did this and realized that it came in the train case and all the hardcovers. I'm so in love with it, and I'm so happy. So yeah, that is all of my books that I bought, and I have a book buying problem. I know, because I just made another book outlet order the other night. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I tweeted at Book Outlet and I'm like, you email sucked me in, I blame you for this. But I couldn't resist, and it's some of the books that I've been wanting, and how can you resist those cheap prices? Like, ugh. So I will be doing that probably next month. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!